and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. Just going to do a quick video to see what's going on in the world of CHEEZE Wizards. So CHEEZE Wizards is an interesting game. It's a game from Dapper Labs, the guys behind CryptoKitties, I should say the people behind CryptoKitties. And they've got this new game coming out. It's kind of a really interesting kind of battle royale. It's not really clear exactly what's going on with it. They've been very careful in what they've announced, but they have announced at the moment they've got a new auction going on for what they call a limited edition CHEEZE Wizard. And it's it's the first type of this new limited edition CHEEZE Wizard. So, long story short, they did a pre-sale in May 2019, raised a whole bunch of money, 700 ETH, selling these CHEEZE Wizards. Wasn't really clear what you did with them. I didn't buy one, and now they've got this new one called the Mold Magician. So we'll have a look and see what's going on here. So the first thing we can do is obviously start with Dapper Radar to check what's going on. So Dapper Radar is obviously a website that tracks what's going on into the world of dApps. So CHEEZE Wizards, here we are, CHEEZE Wizards. We see some information about the website. Don't really care about that so much. We can have a look at the stats. So this is showing us the 30-day data for users and volume. So we can see here, July the 30th, when the thing started, we had a big spike in ETH sales going through the smart contract. Now, the users seem to be odd, so there's just a few users. The game isn't live yet, so that doesn't really surprise us. No one would really interact with the smart contract at the moment, probably just the developer. And actually, we can go back to all time, so we can go back and click, and we can see here. I'll get rid. So we can see here at the start here, they had this kind of week-long pre-sale back in May, when a whole bunch of stuff was going on there. So we had almost 200 users on the first day, people buying these CHEEZE Wizards, and obviously nothing's happened in the meantime. We get rid of users, have a look at volume, and so we can see this little peak here. So we had a peak of 48 ETH sold going through the smart contract yesterday. Obviously, we had a peak here of almost 200 ETH when the CHEEZE Wizards pre-sale went live. Okay, so that gives us an idea about what's going on. So it's not massive amounts. 48 ETH is about over $10,000 at current pricing. But let's go and have a look at actually what's going on the CHEEZE Wizard website. So here we are on the CHEEZE Wizard website, and you have to go to a certain landing page, and you meet the Mold Magician. So these are this new limited edition NFT. Obviously, it's a non-fungible token. All these are unique items that once you buy them, you can sell them. Interestingly, with these limited edition NFTs, these are only going to be sold via this auction mechanic, time-limited auction mechanic. So, not sure how many Mold Magicians there's going to be. In terms of the overall limited edition class of NFTs, I think less than 200 is kind of what we're hearing. I think that so far, having a quick look at the stats, there's about 30 of these Mold followers being created. So we can see here, this is the live auction. There's 20 hours left on this one. The current price is 2.2 ETH. So if you want to buy now, obviously we'll see what happens. Go in. Probably going to can I ask you to go through MetaMask or something? I'm not going to do that now, actually. But anyway, we can buy now. So that's basically what's happening in terms of the process of this auction. And we can see here just telling us. These are the dank ranks. People at Dapper Radar love their puns, certainly with this game. Right, so let's go and have a look and see what's going on in terms of how these things are being sold and the pricing for them. So we've had a look at Dapper Radar to show kind of the high level what's going on in terms of the smart contract. Now we're going to look at OpenSea. So OpenSea is a NFT marketplace, the biggest one really. There are other ones out there, but this is the one that has the most traction. And as we can see here, these are all the CHEEZE Wizards that are for sale. So we can see, if we look down on the left hand side, there are actually 4,882 CHEEZE Wizards. That's how many items there are. And actually the first one we see here is actually that one we just saw. So in the top left here, there's this CHEEZE Wizard, 20 hours left on the auction, 2.2 ETH. So we can click on that one, and it's effectively the auction ends in 20 hours. So this is effectively kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing this through the OpenSea, which was kind of what we saw on the CHEEZE Wizards website. Obviously, these are just interfaces into interaction with the smart contract. So there we go. So it's listed. This is the price actually. Is that changing? I think it just changed, isn't it? So there we go. So we can see here a little bit more about this CHEEZE Wizard. It's owned by the Mold Magicians, which is actually a account owned by Dapper Labs, which is how they're selling these. We can see here various different kind of attributes. This is all. This is all the kind of DNA of the NFT from that point of view. We can see here the different capes and the mold magician hat, and they're an evil wizard, and we can see all the different traits. We can see the power, so it's pretty powerful. We don't really know how mold magicians are going to work in the game. We're told they don't have spells like the other magicians, but they have these kind of powers, and they're going to be really useful, and they're going to help in terms of backstory and this kind of stuff. So we have a look at the mold magicians. So this is the mold magicians account. So we can see here these are these mold magicians that are being sold. So there's a whole bunch of them. I think it says here, that's where we get the idea of 30. So there's 30 of these cheese wizards, these mold magicians, and we can go in and we can look at all the different things going on there. What's actually interesting to see is we can go into activity. So this tells us what this wallet has been doing. So we can see here 4 hours ago they auctioned this mold magician, this cheese wizard happened to be the number 243, and it went for 2.5844 ETH. So that was the price at which that auction happened. 4 hours before that we had one that went for 2.3, and we actually go all the way back and we can see all the cheese wizards that have been sold. So 2.4572 there. You can load more. Actually go all the way back. I think there's been about 15. You can see here this one went for 5. There's one, this is the most expensive, I think, went for 6.048 ETH. So what's that? 200, maybe $1,400, something like that. And if we can actually graph all that, and then we can actually kind of see that. So let's go and have a look at that graph quickly to see how it's. So if you know me, you know I love a graph and I love a spreadsheet. So this is me just having a look at what's happened to these mold magicians. So I've just basically copied, literally copied the prices out of OpenSea that we were just looking at before. So we can see here the first auction went for 4.99, blah blah blah, all the way down. So we can see here in the graph, it's actually kind of interesting. So we do have this big change. So we have these ones selling up here, and then at number 14, the 14th sale, there's a big drop in price. So I don't really know why that is. I've had a quick look. It doesn't seem like these ones are any less powerful, although there may be a rarity sort of thing going on here. But it does seem a bit odd that you have these ones at this price and then a sudden drop. So obviously Dapper Labs have some control over that. They can set the starting price for these things. So these ones potentially were being set at 4 or 5. Well, obviously that one wouldn't mean 4 because it's gone down, but there's the price that they set it at, so they may have been they've dropped the price potentially here. I don't think necessarily they would have started those at 2 and they would have gone up, but potentially that's the case. So we have it's always this interesting scenario when we have auctions at the beginning. We kind of have what we could call kind of information or pricing information asymmetry. So no one really knows at the start what's a cheese wizard, what's a mold magician worth. No one knows. No one's ever sold one before, so we don't know. And so that can be the situation. You probably wouldn't have this discrete a drop, but you can have the situation where at the beginning no one knows. So you have people really interested in this. They don't know the price. The price kind of goes up and down a bit. People try and work out. We can see here, even here, the price is declining and doesn't get as low as 4. But definitely here we have, again, however this drop has happened, we have consensus. People deciding, assuming these are the same sort of powerful cheese wizards, and they're the same power. So I don't see why that the rarity would be that much different. They're ultra rare anyway. But we see here definitely, a tighter spread as well. These ones. Oh, excuse me, I won't do that. These ones kind of selling. They're not getting anything close to 4 certainly. So kind of interesting dynamic here. I say it's always dangerous to talk too much, to look at the raw data and make too much interpretation from it unless you have kind of all the facts. We have to talk to Dapper Labs exactly to find out why this happened. But one thing we can say is there's a smaller spread. So interesting to look at these mold magicians. I think it's very interesting in general, the auction mechanics that a lot of these blockchain games are doing, which obviously you can go into more detail in terms of game theory, how that kind of stuff would work. Yeah, so there we go. That was a quick look at mold magicians. I'm not quite sure how long the auction is going on for. As I said, I think there's 30, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe there's another. We saw 30 in that account. Maybe there's another 30 to be sold, so maybe that's kind of 50 in terms of total. That would kind of make sense, maybe. So we'll see how long this goes on for. But if you want to check it out, I'll put the link through in the notes to the video. And obviously there will be other limited edition sales, and we expect Cheese Wizards probably to be going live August, September time. Maybe now is a good time if you're interested in Cheese Wizards to go back to OpenSea and maybe try and buy some a bit cheaper than potentially they were when people were bidding for them. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. So this is Blockchain Gaming World. We're really into blockchain games, do videos about blockchain games, play them, talk about kind of what's going on in the scene. Obviously, it's a dynamic, fast-moving, early stage, anything can happen. So if you're into that sort of stuff, please do subscribe. Any comments, stick them in the comments box, please. But thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.